Hello YouTube, it's Metalman873 here today. How are you all doing, by the way? I've got quite a few different videos for you tonight. Basically, it's some gaming videos. Well, anyway, very brief introduction before I start. Anyway, I don't know if many of you know, or just in case if you do, or not. But just in case if you don't, I'll quickly explain. I was heavily into gaming myself actually, and up until about 10 years ago when I was about 12, and then afterward, because also at the time I was into games, collected handhelds, and also retro gaming systems. Well, mainly, while also having a couple of newer systems in the house as well. So yeah, and also I did have a big collection at one point. Yeah, Dreamcast, Nintendo 64, original PlayStation, and nearly all the Game Boys out of the Game Boy line, among others, and even a Nintendo GameCube. But anyway, I moved away from games mostly and had to sell most of them off, and sold most of them off because I was getting into other things at that time. But still, but it didn't really completely leave all the sight because. Anyway, I still played on my PSP handheld and a PSP Slim handheld, which I've actually still got and still works perfectly after 12 years. Well, on the odd now and occasion, until, well, and also a PlayStation 2 until that got sold off. And also, we did also have a Nintendo Wii, in case you didn't guys know as well, but anyway, sold them off because nobody wanted to store them in the bedroom. Just for the simple reason of that. But anyway, basically, back to this video. Anyway, that's not really about that. Well, anyway, this video, I've been waiting to do this a year, and now it's, well, just thereabout, well, roughly thereabouts, finally here. And it's finally here, and I've had this for a year now, basically. It is the Nintendo Entertainment System Classic Mini. So yeah, but anyway, I've also got myself a Nintendo Switch a year ago, and then also decided to also get this with it, basically. So yeah, and also because basically I haven't really played one at NES, really, basically. So yeah. Right, anyway, before we go into the system and the games, just going to have a quick browse around the box for a moment. Nintendo Entertainment System at the front. Well, anyway, for those of you who played the original NES, well, this is what it would have looked like in Europe and North America, basically. Well, much bigger cartridge slot on the front where you slot in the games, and yep, and all the as well, the AV ports, RF ports, and also AC adapter plugs would have been on the back, and yep. Anyway, NES itself, controller, NES Classic Mini, and also this is handy because it's got 30 games pre-installed on here, so yep. Nintendo seal of quality on there as well, folks. Authentic indeed, possibly, and still, or unless somebody stamped it on it at the very greasy barber shop with cheeseburgers and what have you. Or if Bowser walked in there and had a greasy cheeseburger, and when shaking the quiff here, there. I'm joking. Anyway. But anyway, folks, all around the box, here we go. Tension, yep. Various different languages on here, what it includes. Basically, Nintendo Classic Mini System, console, the controller, HDMI and USB power cable, so yep, and on the back these are just some screenshots of some of the games basically on here, and some which came out in the 1980s and 90s. Super Mario Brothers series, Final Fantasy, that started out on the Nintendo Entertainment System, and then Super Nintendo, then went over to the PlayStation and various other systems as well. Zelda, Pac-Man, Kirby's Adventure, Metroid, Donkey Kong, Mega Man, and also some more on the bottom. So I'm just going to focus. Focus, come on. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Right, anyways, Mario Brothers 2. I'm just going to get this across for you guys. So, yep, that's what this is what this is basically. So, yep. And right, and anyway, before we plug it in, quick look at the system itself. Anyway, this is what NES would have looked like when they originally came out, much bigger obviously, and so yeah, right, and on basically looks very similar to an original Nintendo Entertainment System obviously. Got a power button on there, reset, 2 controller slots on there. This would have been where you would have had to enter the cartridges, lift it up, push it in till it clicks, and then push it down, turn it on the game, then voila. Anyway, yep, nothing on here. On the back, HDMI and DC input cables on there, and yep, and just about it for that. And plus, now here is the controller, folks. Well, this design of controller would have been very revolutionary for the time, I would say, because anyway, before this, most video game consoles would have utilised the joystick, mainly, and maybe a couple of buttons and maybe number pad on there, just to name a few type of designs. So anyway, very simple layout on here. A/B buttons on here, start select, Nintendo logo on there. Well, any phone, radio. Any secret radios or agent stations and that? I'm joking folks, and anyway, D-pad basically. So, yep, basically, a very simple button layout on the controller, and then, yep. Right, anyway, so that's just the system, folks, and I'm now going to hook this up, plug it in, and we're going to have a look at some random games in action. So, yep, stay tuned.